Hey, how y'all?
This is KLA Cloud the Wanderer. About to give it to you. I'm here with a lovely guest. Her name is Jules. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Little tough day today, but I'm okay. Yeah. So, you're a female bodybuilder. You
Yeah,
do fitness. Okay.
I do. I do. I actually started out in physique, but then slid down into more of the figure category and had much
Yeah.
better luck competing there.
Okay. So how long have you been like weight training and you know competing in shows and stuff like that?
Actually, I started this when I turned 40. And at that time, I was the average 120-year-old or 120 pound 40-year-old. I looked average, but inside, and I just didn't like the way my legs looked. Even though everybody told me everything was fine, it just wasn't for me. And so at that stage, then I got involved in a gym. I got a gym membership and really started to go more regularly and signed up with a trainer at a corporate gym. So it was very basic. I saw some changes, but I really wanted to see these changes in my legs. And so then I signed up with an IFBB Pro at a competitor's gym because I'm like, she has the legs that I want. And so I want what she has. And so I signed up with her and I worked with her for a full year, not getting off that diet, that meal plan one time. I mean, I was so desperate for change. And I also realized that a lot of the angst and the just pressures in life were actually relieved when I'd be going to the gym. So like then I started to realize it's like, wow, this is almost therapeutic. And so, probably around actually at that stage, I was told, not everybody's made for stage. And I was like, kind of crushed me, but I was like, you know what? I'm grateful for what I have, you know? And and then age 44, I did my first competition. And and it was like just I would guess most people's first competition. I
Yeah.
walked the stage and that's probably the extent of it. I was not well trained, to do something like that. But I gave it my all and I had this amazing experience and pictures and all of that to capture that time frame.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
yeah, and then after that, I continued to, keep putting on muscle, putting on muscle, and I worked with a couple different trainers, training me different ways, and ultimately, it brought me to nationals. I actually let me back up. I did a show in physique at the physique level, and I took third, and I was super conditioned and I was like, really, is this possible? And the judge actually called my coach and said, I bet you if we put her in figure, she would knock it out of the park. And it was, I think it was 12 days later. So I had to stay in prep 12 days afterwards. I did not have a lot left in me. I had to learn a whole new routine, plus be able to wear shoes on the stage
Mm.
while posing. So it's a whole new thing to bring in at the end, the tail end of this. And I did. I knocked it out of the park. I took a first, a second, and a third, and I qualified for nationals. I mean, what? So I did. I went to nationals and I took third place.
Oh.
And it was the most amazing experience. Yeah.
Was you able to get your pro card or
I have not. Well, that's where I'm at right now. Is
okay?
I took third last time, and I was in a car accident. So I've taken the
Oh
time
wow.
to. It's all good. I've taken the time to mend, and really, this is my first year now back. I did one. I did a regional show just a few weeks ago, And it was kind of like just a dust, the dust off the hood is what somebody said. And, but I'm qualified to go back at this stage. I don't know if I'm going to. I really have, at this point, I'm looking forward to, my husband and I, we sail. We're out on the waters and scuba diving and sailing. And so it's really difficult to do both. And so I think, for this point, I think I'm going to take a step aside a little bit and enjoy some of the benefits of, being strong and being in shape like this at my age.
What you like about working out and competing and stuff like that?
First off, it was just the idea that I even was at that particular level. I mean, when you're at a basic gym and you look like everybody else, it's not, you can't even fathom that. But like I said, when I started going in there, seeing the changes, I saw my changes first in my upper body. I think, as a woman, I'm more lean up there. So I saw it in my arms and my shoulders and my back. But then it was like, doing a leg day and then, going into the office, and if somebody's kind of nipping at you, it's like, you have no idea what I've done already today. You just you can't make my day worse. Like, I have already done the most difficult thing of my day. So it was very empowering. And then also just to be empowering, like I could go to the weight rack now. When I first started, I was over with the other women in the cardio area because that's where I thought I belonged, And so then also now I have women, I'm a walking advertisement, women will come up and make comments. And so it's a life changer. At least for me, it has been.
Yeah, you have a nice physique. I was browsing through IG, and I stumbled across you, and yeah, I noticed that. I also noticed that you like sailing and stuff like that.
I do. There's something
Yeah,
about the water. It's so healing. I can unplug. I
yeah,
do. I love it.
I don't know. I never. I think I tried to swim when I was younger, but nobody never taught me how to swim.
Yeah.
So I was I'm like, a fish. Well, not a fish that can't swim right now.
You know what? I
Yeah,
didn't know how to swim when I first started all of this either. I'm from the Minneapolis area. You don't swim in the lakes. That's gross. And so, that's something I learned along the way. And that being, mostly a dense mass is challenging because I
yeah,
just go straight to the bottom. I don't have any fluffy stuff to keep me, in that buoyancy that I seek. So yeah, it's definitely a challenge sometimes.
yeah. So, did you get the legs that? Yeah, you just said you got the legs. Like, are you still satisfied with your legs?
Yeah, because they just keep getting better and better
Oh,
and
okay,
better.
that's
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Um, what? So, like, 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 what was the feeling like when you was like in front of the stage? Was you nervous or anything like that? Or
The first time, even the second and third time, I would have to say, you have all this prep and the chemistry in your body is like all over hormones and you're exciting and then you're like, I can't do this. And it's just this mixture of everything going on. And I think by the time I walk up those stairs and walk across the stage, standing in the middle with the tape in front of me, and the lights, that makes it that I can't see anybody. And I think it's like a blink and I'm off the stage. So it's almost like it's just like a blink of time. I don't even, say, okay, I think I did everything, It's not like I'm up there and just really enjoying the moment. It goes so quick and I'm shaking like a leaf, no matter how much I breathe and relax into it. Hell, that just happened even on the last show I just did. So, and I've been told that, when you get nervous, it's because you want it to be the best. And that's totally the case. But yes, I get very nervous on stage.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I could imagine. being a bodybuilder, and I'm not a bodybuilder. I do like meditation and stuff like that. But just competing and stuff and being in front of the stage and you know, kind of like you have to you don't know what to expect from the judges and stuff like that, and it's not very easy.
No.
Li- Yeah, like like how would you kind of like educate somebody that don't know anything about bodybuilding, like in terms of steroid usage and stuff like that?
Ooh, I wish I had the magic words that people, I guess I think about like my experience with this has been an inside job. It's more than just the physical discipline of, getting up and this is what we do and this is what I eat and this is where I go at this time. Those are almost mechanical, right? And I can physically train my body to do those things, setting an alarm, those sorts of things. It
Yeah.
is the inside part of me that I really have to become mindful of. And so a lot of times, more times than not, people aren't able to sit in meditation. People don't turn inward and think, wow, how am I behaving right now? Like that's very absent within our culture, and I think it's also difficult because we earn what we have. Even if I do use some sort of supplementation, I earn what I have. So it's not like I just can't buy it. So, when you take those two things, if you can get through those two things with somebody, and they are still seriously interested, it's that, I listen to a lot of motivational, people. David Goggins happened to help me through this last show, and just to hear the crap he went through and how he just kept the grind going, and to try to teach people that there is going to be discomfort and suffering, but on the other side of it is the rewards.
Right.
And that is very against our society today. In fact, you will bypass everything to stay in our comfort zones,
Right.
right? So I think it takes a special kind of person who has had perhaps a special kind of experience, because we've seen people who they don't come out saying, hey, I'm going to be this amazing athlete. They have a life-changing event and then they realize, holy shit, and then they have a different outlook on life, right? And that's where a lot of people that I meet within the gym and this community, oh my gosh, all of these folks come with this amazing story of some life-changing or something, just even, a different lifestyle. So I don't know if I have the answer to that question, because
No,
you have to
it's
be
all
able to.
good. I like because sometimes society it doesn't like I would say don't accept like women with muscles. Like I mean, looking at you, like it's not like it's not like you look like a man or anything. The way how people kind of perceive that, oh, she's too bulky, she's too mannish and stuff. Even women sometimes they'll say certain things like if they don't know anything of the sport, they'll work out. I mean, they'll before they work out, they look at the other person and they like she looked like a man and stuff like that. So that's why I asked.
Yeah.
It's not very easy.
I
So
think also like our culture again, right? First off, we're like super judgmental. We're always trying to keep up with the Jones, right? Like I need to have the
yeah,
newest car, the newest this, the newest this. We're always like in other people's business, let's just say, right? And so that comment will come up. Like when I first started training, I had one of my dear friends say, just don't get too big. And I was a bit appalled. Like, excuse me, I do not tell you, don't get one more tattoo, don't eat one more cheeseburger. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's inappropriate for me to pass judgment or some sort of assuming something. And so then as this continues, of course, in my everyday, we have, people who do, their body changes. But this is our temple. This is mine to do with as I want. You know, I do TikTok lives, and you know, I love it because you know we have people who just feel that need to throw out or throw up some sort of negative, you know, comment, and it's like you can do whatever you want with your body. I don't care. Shave your head, change your gender, wear a dress, wear a pair of pants. I don't care. Why do you care? And so I think that's it too. And the fear of it, because there are not many, I think too, because we're judged so hard so often, there's not a crossover. You know, like you and I right now are doing a beautiful thing by talking about it, right? We're talking about it. One of the reasons I came into the gym, besides wanting to look better, is that it was part of my journey, right? There's a lot of healing that goes on as we transform these bodies, right? So like I come from a very rough background. And so, like I said, when I would go into the gym and I would push this weight, and man, I felt empowered, right? Okay, so what happens if I just kept doing that more and more? Or, you know, I wanted to get a little bit bigger. What if I had trauma in my life and somebody was always dominating me? And now as an adult, I feel safe because I'm bigger and stronger.
Right.
Why would we judge that person? You know what I'm saying? We don't know people's inside stories. And I know how it is to be looked at. I think most people do. Looked at like, why is she wearing that? Or does she not know those shorts are too short? Or why is her voice like that? Or we all have been, you know, in the seat of having judgment passed on us, and it sucks. It's hurtful, and it's not necessary, actually.
Yeah, you know, I understand that feeling. You know, there's times I've been judged and stuff, so
Yeah.
you know, it's not very easy dealing with. You know, really tell you the truth, like you know, I've been, you know, I would say like I've been a fan of female bodybuilding since I was like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a lot of times I wouldn't really want to let people, know that I was into it because
Ah,
the reactions and stuff like that. So, you know, and then if they did, they'd be like, yo, you like these women with muscles? Like, yo, yo, they look like, yeah. Well, they didn't say look like a man, but like, yo, she's too hard, man. Like, you know, and you know, like I would even draw them. Really, I would like I'm be in a public library and you know draw on my computer, and I would get like looks from men, women, whoever, and they would just look at me like I was like a freak show. So sometimes I never would like like I would kind of block it out my mind like f them, I don't care.
mm-hmm.
But you know it wasn't easy, so I could imagine what you women deal with dealing with like clowns that kind of harass you guys and kind of like do sexual bribes and all this craziness and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
get it. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. You. Yeah. I could show some pictures onto the viewers.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. You have some
Oh,
nice pictures.
that was just last week, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So what gave you the confidence to just do photo shoots and stuff?
My husband is a fantastic admirer. He
Yeah.
has taken pictures of me since we started dating. And even when I felt uncomfortable, I've got a great poker face. And so I can, like I can fake it until I make it. That's my last
Yeah.
show. I love it. Um, and I
That's
think
I'm sorry, that's the show that you had third place, right?
no, that's the one I just did a few weeks ago at regionals.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How was that?
I took two firsts and 1 second. Oh God, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's hit training right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I cut you off. You was gonna say something?
Fine. No, no, no. Because there are times I do get up and I'm thinking, man, I can't wear something like that. You know, um, But then I also think, first off, my husband will come to me and we'll talk about it. Like, why is that? What's going on? What kind of cheddar? You know? And then the other thing too is like, he's been told me, he's like, you know, you owe it to other women to realize that confidence is beautiful, right? No matter what you look like walking down the dock or whatever, when we're on the boat, like to see you walk in confidence. He goes, that is the sexiest thing on a woman. You know, and so it kind of shifts it away from the superficial aspects of, oh my God, what does my legs look like in this? No, I'm working from my heart. My chest is up. I'm grateful to be here. You know, all right, my butt, my legs wiggle or my butt wiggles, or it's all behind me anyway. You know? Yeah, just a different perception.
How you guys met? Like,
God, on OkCupid.
Okay, yeah, well, it's like, what? That's an app.
Yeah, it was a website, a dating website.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And what was like what was the thing that kind of drew you into him, attracted
Oh my God,
attracted you to him?
well, he was total corporate, right? So he's running behind the computer here because he's like, I'm on here. So it's like, you know, he sat down we had coffee and, you know, there he sat in his suit and his cufflinks and, you know, and there was just this connection with the whole outside of him looks so put together. But then when we talked and I heard of some of the things that in his life that weren't fulfilling, you know, and we talked at that level, there was a connection there. And I didn't let it take off sexually. I didn't let it just take out of the gates, right? We met for coffee, you know, followed up a couple of days later. I mean, so it wasn't on a physical level initially. And so yeah, and to be able to talk intimately and vulnerably was very important to me at this stage of my life. I have enough pretty people around me. That's fantastic, but I need to be able to connect with somebody. And he did that.
And he just motivates you, and you know he's a photographer, like you said, right?
He
Like he's
does
a
all my
professional.
work. Oh no, he's not
Oh yeah.
professional. He's self-taught. That all that stuff he has learned by himself, just doing all his own work. He started, gosh, I think he started. Of course, he took pictures of me when we first started going, but now probably the
Yeah.
last year and a half, he's really gotten into it. He is now retired, but formerly was in technology, and so he has that
Oh, okay.
background and that interest to get into all of the nooks and crannies of things. So yeah, but he takes all my pictures.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, because I kind of I interviewed not kind of I interviewed Bill Dobbins. I don't know if you're familiar with him,
I
but
don't know.
he's a photographer, and you know he worked in the media, you know, way back before I was born probably. But he was a photographer that did Linda Murray. He did a book called in the '90s, The Women, and they had Linda Murray, they had Sharon Bruno. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Forgive me. They had all the top bodybuilders like in the '90s. He
Okay.
like and he displayed it. He's on Geraldo. Like if you Google Bill Dobbins, you type it and it's really Geraldo, the Geraldo show with Bill Dobbins and the bodybuilders and stuff.
Okay.
You'll see the interview and stuff. But I interviewed him and stuff. I interviewed him, and you know he was a nice guy, and he gave me some knowledge because I was interested in doing photography for you women also. And I mean I like photography. You know I'm into. I'm unconfessed. You know I like, you know, I was kind of interested in doing the women, but you know, but he gave me some knowledge, some input, and you know, told me how to like certain softwares to use for photography because I think I did like digital photography, so you know, a little bit. I took like one course and stuff. So,
Okay.
but Yeah, that's pretty good. Like, and he motivates you to do what you do. And that's,
He says he has studied me, that he
yeah,
knows me. And, I think it's most difficult to learn something from somebody who's close to you, or, your partner, your husband or your wife. It's very difficult to take direction from your partner. And we've learned that about each other. When I learned how to scuba dive, for instance, I'm like, he's like, I'm gonna get another dive master. Like, I can't do this. You're gonna keep fighting me. And same with this, So we've like been able to talk about those things, and also then me be able to help other people. Like, as they're shooting their wives and stuff like that. It's like, make sure you're complimenting them. I mean, there she is in a string bikini and a pair of high heels, and she's shaking a little bit. Reinforce her, that sort of thing. Like, tell her how beautiful she is and how amazing these pictures look. And so it's that in itself is something that has to be kind of mastered, because you'll see it in the images and the videos.
yeah. Well, we got some people in the chat. We got all the rage George Page. Good evening, folks. How you doing, George? And you got Hachim Demetri. Um, he says you're cute.
Thank you.
So yeah, yeah. I did like some reels of you. Check it out.
I am in a very good mood this morning because I'm doing my favorite thing, looking at pictures of myself.
I'm 4 weeks out from my show, so more lean protein. I got salmon and ground turkey. I'm 4 weeks out from my show, so more lean protein. I got salmon and ground turkey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, George Page says you're beautiful.
Baby, thank you.
Yeah, he says hubba hubba hubba.
Yeah,
Nah, I mean, not go ahead. I'm sorry. I
think some of those, those videos, those clips that you just saw, the reels, they're, as I've evolved, and as we were talking about being confident and being comfortable in my own skin, one of the things it seems like society is super afraid of is like sexuality and the expression of it,
yeah.
and I don't have that barrier anymore. And that's another thing that my relationship brings here, is that just this open-mindedness that it doesn't, there's no boxes, right? So if I want to dance sexy in front of my mirror with, my itty bitty bikini on, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, to like celebrate the work I've done and express it. I love to do that. And TikToks are a lot of fun.
Yeah. But like, did you always had like a bodybuilding, like I mean, yeah, athletic. I'm sorry, an athletic background before you did bodybuilding, or you just
No, I
started to?
didn't. I actually dropped out of school when I was in 9th grade. I came from a very rough upbringing, and it was best for me to leave the house at that age. I did do some stuff in junior high, that like distance running and hurdles with
Right.
like really long legs. So if I did, it was kind of stunted, but there was glimpses of it in the beginning.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, all the rage your page. People are taught to be ashamed of sexuality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the sexuality, you don't mind. What do you do outside of bodybuilding and stuff?
I share my sexuality.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I've seen like videos and stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? That was another thing. I grew up in the ages, and just like he had mentioned, the shame that's based around, enjoying the act of sex. Now, as a man, enjoying the act of sex is super cool. You guys high five each other, everything's fantastic, but heaven forbid if the woman says that, or even insinuates that she's enjoying it and wants to be out like that as well. And so over the course of like unlearning a lot of things that I learned growing up, and then again like embracing who I am, I'm 16 years sober. I've done a lot of work to figure out who I am and why I tick the way I do. And my husband and I have always had an open-minded relationship. And it's been all about exploring. We're going to go check out this club, or we have to check out all of them and make our own decision. We have to decide which one we think is the best. And so we did this as partners, and so it was part of the bonding aspect of our relationship. And fast forward, we catapult into the lockdown. Well, here we are, people who are active in the swinger lifestyle, or just the open-minded lifestyle, and now we're confined to like 1,700 square feet in an apartment downtown Dallas. And so we're like, we're kind of jonesing, because this is a normal expression. It's like not going to be able to go running, or it's just who we are. And so then this is when we started taking some pictures. We shared those with our friends, and again, it's just, if you think of your body as, say even 4 parts, right? Your mind, your body, your psyche, your spirituality. I mean, sexuality is part of who I am. And so if I cut that off, other areas of my life are going to suffer. And so at this point, we started doing videos. Then we learned of OnlyFans. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure if I'm ready for all this. Keeping in mind that the internet, I post one picture and it's, I'm never going to be able to retrieve it, right? So I don't even know why I was concerned, but I have old beliefs of fear. What if somebody sees me on the street and calls me a slut? What if somebody, at the gym, oh my God, heaven forbid, at the gym, and someone calls me a whore? And these were great fears, because in my previous, life, those would be very debilitating judgments that would change my environment. I might have to move out, or whatever the case is. And so thinking of that at this stage was very unnerving. My husband and I continued to talk about it. We gave it a whirl, right? So he set up the profile, and we did really well on it, like surprisingly well. And I made the agreement with him that, if I do this, it's just going to be me, my authenticity, my sexuality. I'm not a porn star. I'm not going to do these 4 poses. I'm not going to make that noise. I'm not going to make that face. Like, I am not a porn actress. This is Jules, and I'm going to let you in on this space. And so we set that as a guideline. We got going, we started to do really well. Then I had the opportunity to write my memoir. And I couldn't do both spaces simultaneously. So we shut down the OnlyFans, and then I focused on my book, The Making of a Woman. She then became a 2-time award-winning memoir. And then at that state, I had that disclosure out, like that was a big part of who I am, clearly. And then when I opened, we decided that let's go ahead, and if we're going to do this, let's do it 110%. And that's exactly what we've done. It's been about 1.5 years now. And, we've learned for so much. We've also been within circles of people who are like-minded, which is so empowering. The idea that I can share this space with you, and then I can go home, and I can compare it to a movie. Like, I'm going to be like, hey, you and I, let's go catch this movie. And, so we enjoy this movie together and it's fantastic and it's heightened and it's orgasmic, and then I get in the car and I go home and you go home and, we wish each other a great night and thank you for doing this. The simplicity of that, right? That's what I find is the case in OF. And by the way, my husband does all my filming, all my editing. He is right there, part of the whole experience. Of course, my safety is one of them, but the physical experience. So even though I may be having sex with another person, my husband's right there. I'm glancing at him. He's enjoying that thrill of seeing me pleasured, So it's so much more than, hey, I'm going to pimp out my wife and make a couple grand every month. It's nothing like that.
So you guys in your way, you guys are just being creative, but in a form like sexually,
Yeah,
if I can say that.
you can say it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't wanna, kind of say something that, you don't agree with. That's, I do disagree, like I agree with, with the, like with women, if they kind of like focus on sexuality and stuff like that and OnlyFans, they get crucified,
Mhm.
but men, well, I feel like we get it just as much because we can't we can't really we if we even so look at a woman, now it's not every woman, but it's like we're like, what's the word I'm looking for? We're creeps, or we're, like all kind of stuff. Like we get judged. We looking at, like I said before, muscle women. You
Mhm.
know, we get clowned. We're called the schmoes. And I would say that's a lot because like even if you like concentrate on like in society, like focus so much on sex, you most likely get in trouble. Or some guys, they don't know how to control their urges, they sexually act out,
Mhm.
and that can be dangerous for us, the men. And like not too long ago, my local park, some woman got like sexually assaulted by some idiot. It ain't it. I mean, all this type of stuff. And so, like as a man, you have to be careful how you even engage with women. You know,
Yeah.
so because I mean, like sometimes even with the female bodybuilders, there's like there's a limit that you can't cross. You cross it, and even there's so much things like I remember this guy. Somebody was saying that I don't know if I should say it, but like certain women, they like get too promiscuous, and as a guy, you can't really align with that because if you align with it, you be the one that getting in trouble.
Mhm.
So so for a
Yeah,
guy, it ain't really
they're
so
harder.
easy all the time.
Yeah.
Now go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, they are. I think it's because men, acting out or being more sexual has always been seen as a negative. That it's something special between him and his wife or him and his partner. I think just that society and being in fear. If I'm walking
Yeah,
around being too promiscuous and something happens to me, the first thing the court's going to ask is, well, what were you wearing? Or
yeah,
how are you acting? Or so I think there's just a lot of old old rules, old situations. And let's face it, we have a very, very sensitive culture today, very
yeah,
sensitive, you know so and I know right from wrong. I know when, that's one thing too, is like a good portion of my life is very much in a sexual realm, right? And then to take it into a different realm, well, I need to be mindful. What am I wearing? Is it appropriate? And maybe not even for children. Is it appropriate for the men in the room? And so I think it's that awareness, without taking offense. Because I used to be very loud and proud, like, you know, I'd walk in wearing whatever I wanted. And then when people would shun me or whatnot, you know, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? What's the problem? I'm a woman. I got to la, 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 la. Okay, well, that's not really loving either. So yeah, it's, again, like turning inward. What's that about? Oh, I'm not feeling heard. Oh, that's what this is, Jules. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, there's another way we can handle this, right? So yeah. I think I've done a lot of that kind of crap.
Yeah. Well, you got Rolando G. Exactly what I said before. We are more judged as men as being too sexual.
Yeah.
Always George Page, he said, you should always live for you and no one else. He also do content on women bodybuilders.
Okay.
Hello there, my thing is a lot of regular women try to hide it like they don't like it like we as men do. That's also true. That's also true.
Yes, but
Um,
let me go there for a sec, because I have a lot of women who are those women as friends, right? So here we have, you know, boy and girl, they meet, they're having amazing sex, right? And then you know, we get married and then we make babies, and then now this woman now becomes no longer your girlfriend or your sexual partner. She becomes the mother of your children.
right.
Okay, so now we have this, like, this to-do list a mile long in our heads, right? As guys are like, hey, I'm done with work. Like, let's get going here. And she's thinking, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I've got laundry, I've got this kid, I got la, 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 you know, and then she gets to bed and she's like, whew, I'm exhausted. And he's like, hey, baby. And you're like, get off me, you know? And a lot of people at this stage, I think that's why people grow apart, because we take on such diverse identities, right? And one of the cool things I get to do, I've done some speaking amongst women who are like, you know, how do I bring in that sexuality, you know, at my age? And it's like, you know, we take for granted the things as feminine women that does initiate that sexual being in us. So for instance, women are very textile. We love things that feel good, smell good, things that, you know, like we're into candles. I'm saying, you know, typically. So we're into that kind of stuff. So I had a lady who, I asked her, I said, well, what do you wear to bed? And she's like, well, my husband's t-shirt. I said, baby, that's not sexy. Why would you're not initiating that side of you, right? Or just and then do something for you, not to, you know, be better for your husband or, you know, but to actually like just make that part of you come alive again. Because it's not cool to be real feminine, because we live in a very masculine energy dominant world.
Oh. I mean, like some people would say that women are getting masculine, if I could say that.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel that? Like in terms, it don't have to be like bodybuilder, but it can just be like trying to be in charge, trying to align with the man and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, and so
So I think about like a human being, a human soul, we'll say. It's the yin and the yang, right? Every soul has a masculine side and a feminine side, right? We see this within gay culture. Like sometimes you'll see there's, you know, a more feminine man and a more masculine man. I mean, it's very far and few that we have the same energy levels as partners. And so when the way society has set it up is, you know, as women, I would think, I personally enjoy being on my feminine side. But to live in the masculine world, I have to shift. I have to shift more over to the masculine side. I need to know how to take my car to get the oil change, to do like more masculine tasks, right? Like to, I think of it as men are the ones that kind of build the house. They're the physical beings, right? And the women are more about the energy, the loving, the connection. You know, we can bring a household together. We can nurture, right? Well, in a masculine dominant society, I can't get anywhere like that on my own. And so, and also, you know, being abused or having, you know, being misused also shoots you to that masculine side, because that is our fighters. Men are our fighters. They have the higher levels of testosterone. They're more aggressive. They're our protectors. So it makes sense to me why we have, you know, so many people that will shoot way over and not find balance. I actually, before I got sober, had jet black hair. I was in the masculine so much because I was surviving my disease of alcoholism. I was a fighter. I had to. And then to watch over the years in sobriety, how I have found this equilibrium, you know, and I can hold my own in the gym. I can hold my own in a lot of areas, but I can also stay in my more feminine energies and be very powerful there too.
You know, this past weekend, you know, I went to Velvet Row and stuff. I don't know you familiar with Velvet Row, but it's
What
like
is it?
a fetish. It's like a fetish fantasy party event,
Okay. Okay.
and it's this bodybuilder. Her name is Michelle Fostita, and you know they do wrestling sessions. You know, they do dancing and stuff like that. I started coming recently, like few weeks ago. I went to the recent one on Saturday and
Mhm.
stuff. And you know they do like they do sessions, like I would say, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like a experience that like a lot of guys, they go there and you know they want to fulfill their fantasy.
Okay. And they're wrestling with them? Is that what you said?
Not just wrestling, like they do dancing. They like this dominatrix. I'm sorry if I ain't articulating it,
Hmm.
but you know it's like a fantasy thing. That's
Hmm.
why I just mentioned it. I just mentioned it to make
There's
the
also like muscle
conversation.
worship, right? Muscle
Yeah,
worshiping.
I did a muscle worship. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
baby.
for putting that in there. I did a
Yes.
muscle worship, and you know, it's interesting because the woman that I did like a little muscle worship, she was married,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was fit. She gave me a nice fit. I mean, well, I was mostly doing the feeling and
Yeah.
stuff, and they had a really nice hard physique. But after a while, I just kind of like just didn't want to like continue doing it because like it's just that something in me that was like, nah, maybe you need a don't treat her like like a object or anything like that. So we started talking and started kind of like I would say vibe, like tell her what I do and and you know and then I just asked her, are you married? And she said, yeah. So, I was like, no wonder because I didn't really felt good, doing all that touchy feeling with you. And, she appreciated it. Like, my husband don't mind. And I was like, nah, but still, I try to, because it just, I just kind of didn't really felt like I wanted to do it. I do like a spiritual discipline, and I try to control myself at
Mhm.
times, with sexual urges and stuff. That's just my personal thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it, because I was just trying to be conscious of not trying to objectify her.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was just me.
Sounds like
I'm
more of
sorry, I was just
appreciation.
rambling.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
I was
like
just. I'm sorry.
appreciation.
Huh?
It sounds like more of appreciation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all the Ray's George Page. It's like that scene from Analyze This when Billy Crystal asks Robert De Niro, "Why do you have a mistress?" Because the things I do with her, I can do with my wife. She kisses my kids. I think, yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie, George. Oh, Rolando G. I tend to like women over 45 and up like you, Jules. By the way, your physique is very sensational.
Rolando, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So your husband, like, do he work with other women or like just you?
Oh yeah, he will. Our friends, like our circle, because sometimes, like I'm part of a hot wife tour, and so sometimes the husband's home with the children, and we'll be in LA or Vegas or something, and so my husband will shoot their material, and he'll edit it for them, and it's something he does on the side, and he really enjoys it. And again, it's a business, it's and especially with him behind the camera, I think it has a whole different feel than it used to when we were in that 1,700 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
It's a little, there's a different vibe now.
With bodybuilding, like how far you want to take it, like in terms of would you want to move to another division or you want to stay in physique you figure, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. I don't. I want to stay where I'm at. I want to stay figure because of my femininity and the way I flow when I walk on a stage. It's just who that fits me very well. And also for me to get to the point of being able to compete at a physique level would require me to put on a lot of mass. And I'm not necessarily wanting to step up to that level in all the areas I'd need to. And so I really like, and one cool thing, I like where I'm at right now, because as you can see, like I'm not, let's see here. There we go. It's not like I am lean, but it's not like I look like a bodybuilder. I look like, all right, she does some work. But so I can put on this amazing dress and go out to dinner. And so I get to play both parts. So I'm very happy with where I'm at. I don't, I'll continue to work on my beautiful legs. I think that's always a task for women. But other than that, I'm totally satisfied in this shape I'm in.
Yeah, that's the best part, with female bodybuilders, they have like the best legs, like especially they work out on it. Yeah, that's what drew me into it, just the legs and the calves and stuff. So
Yeah. They're
yeah,
strong. We're strong. Our core is extremely strong because no matter what exercise we're doing, we're always engaging in our core. And I find women who have a beautiful physique, they're absolutely gorgeous. I love them. I haven't dated too many bodybuilders, but the women I have dated have always had some sort of muscle tone to them, because it's beautiful, to just, and it's also feels healthy to me as well. I sometimes I'll hug my friends who don't train and they're just like skin and bones, and I'm like, I'm gonna break them. So yeah, I like a little bit more muscle on my women.
yeah. Almost kind of ask, can you flex for the viewers? But I'm a behave.
Let's see. Let me get the right arm here. Okay. Oop. Let me get the chair going. Ugh. I did legs today, so there's not a lot of blood pumping through
Nah, that's okay. That's good enough.
There's little
That's
there.
good enough.
Hold on, wait, there's two.
That's good enough. That's good enough. Always, George Pay. Only thing I learned when some women move up to physique or female bodybuilding because they love muscle and like the poses, they get tired of those high heels. Or do you get tired of those high heels? Or
No, because in figure, right? That's where I wear my heels. I love to wear heels anyway. So I personally don't have a problem wearing heels. I actually flow better on the stage in a pair of heels. When I'm up there barefooted, I'm not feeling real sexy.
yeah, do you like pay attention to other bodybuilders like the recent show? I think it's forgive me, George, if I mess up on this. The Texas Pro.
Texas Pro was actually here just this last weekend.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
did you see, what was your thoughts on that? Or
Well, I actually didn't go, but at the gym, everybody goes, you know. I love to see the people who are that dedicated. Um, I mean, there's some amazingly beautiful women that came through the gym this weekend.
right.
Their shoulders, I mean, they're stacked. Um, yeah, I didn't really go and see anybody at the show though. I
No, I
just,
mean you could like stream or anything. Just even if you didn't go like physically, you probably looked at it through stream. That's what I'm sorry about that. Did you check anything out or you know?
no, no, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay,
I was actually making my own videos.
okay. So how many videos you make though? Like how would you like what's the goal of like making the videos? If I could ask that question.
Yeah. I what I like to do is have a lot in my bank, right? And so, I like to take vacations just like anybody else. So I
Right,
will, do a bunch of videos like now until probably the next 6 weeks is going to be a lot of videos. And then I'll bank them and then take off, a month or two. We push out at least one video a week on my VIP. And then I'm doing my live chats and all of that other stuff. So I'm constantly engaged with my followers, I love that. I like to be able to, like we're doing right now, connecting.
right.
But I don't, you know what, this is not my job. We do this because we enjoy it, not because we need to pay the rent. And thank God at this stage of my life, I'm at this at this point where I don't have to. That's not always been the case, right? But so if the opportunity comes that I can do, more work, and I want to shoot with the people that are available, there of course there are people I don't want to shoot with, but the ones I do, like with a Hot Life tour, it's fantastic. I will be able to have like 5-6 scenes in the weekend that I'm there. So yeah,
Oh.
it depends.
Yeah, I remember I interviewed a guy. His name is Steve Shabelli. He does do like all films. Like he kind of he do photography, cinematography on bodybuilders. He worked with Colette Quimond, a lot of women. I can't think of them, but he worked with a lot of female bodybuilders and stuff. So
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
they're
So,
beautiful.
yeah. So like, dude, like how's the live stream for you? Like, what do you talk about on your live stream?
TikTok, it's a lot about fitness. It's a lot. Actually, I simultaneously will run a TikTok live stream and my VIP live stream. For my OnlyFans, that's part of the $25 subscription. Is I will do live streams. I actually live stream while I'm making content for my fans on my VIP site, which is a lot of fun. But typically what it is I'll spend like the first portion, I'm in the kitchen, kind of like you saw, like we're working on lean turkey and asking, bodybuilding questions. And then I pretty much, say that, hey, I'm going to sign off over here and I'm going to continue on this and, maybe drop a couple, get rid of some of these strings or something and move into my VIP. And then it comes more adult like. So then I spend time with them over there.
Yeah. Do you have like any like health tips for people that are trying to stay fit?
Get moving. The number one thing, I think Americans are very, we sit a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be as crazed as some of us. You don't have to be weighing your food and slamming down protein drinks. You don't have to. When I started with a NutriBullet. It's a mixer where I was able to get my vegetables in because I pretty much lived on protein bars because I wanted to stay skinny and just introducing little like an apple or just something that your body will crave And the number one thing I think people overlook besides portions is the sauces. If you look on the back of a ketchup bottle or barbecue sauce bottle, there is so much sugar.
Right.
Sugar. And for me, that sugar will just generate that sugar craving and I'm off, right? So it's good to even take a walk. Like some cultures, after you're done eating, you go out and you take a 30-minute walk. It moves your digestive system. It helps you digest the food you've just eaten, you know? And then watch late night eating. You know, what are you eating at night? I do all my carbs during the day. And then I put more fats and, you know, like almonds and stuff like that, avocados towards my, you know, my evening. I sleep a lot better too.
Yeah, like what about like prep for you? Like when during competition and you know certain foods you got cut off. Or how was that for you?
Because I eat a relatively clean diet all the time, the things I had to cut out were sweet potatoes.
Oh,
I mean, I
why
don't
is
have,
that? Why is that?
we just
To
changed it
educate
over.
me.
We just changed it over
Oh,
to just a red potato to take more sugars
oh,
out of my
okay.
diet. You know, we were
Oh, okay.
depleting, so
Okay.
that's where that's at. But you'd be surprised at what you can do. I mean, it was definitely, you know, gradual, but to see what my body will do, even with the lowest amount of calories. I mean, I was at 5% body fat and I still could do 30 minutes on my Peloton. I still could put in a damn good workout. You know, it's just like your body will listen very well. David Goggins says he has been at the weight of 300 pounds twice in his lifetime.
Mm,
Not once, but twice. He's his mind strength and the ability to, you know, turn inward and look at this, you know, why are you eating like that? Why are you not wanting a better job? Why? You know, and then he just, I mean, he drops more F-bombs than the word, you know, than the word the in most people's books, you know. But
yeah,
he's the real deal. And just listening to that and like, cut the crap. Do the work. Just do the work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I used to work at McDonald's not too long ago, and a lot of times I would see a lot of people. They'll come there every day,
Yeah.
and it'll be packed, and it. How do you see? How do you feel about like um Americans at fast foods? Like, you know, see how like it's becoming like a dominant problem, if I can say.
Oh,
They got some people that you know trying to stay healthy, but there's a lot of people that they go to these fast food restaurants.
yeah.
And yeah.
Have you ever seen the documentary Super Size Me?
Oh, I heard about it. I never seen that one. Yeah, I know a little bit of it. The guy he tries to he went on some kind of a diet of eating fast foods, kept eating it
He
till
ate
he got sick.
McDonald's for 30 days, only
Yeah,
McDonald's for 30 days. And they checked
yeah,
his, you know, his blood and, you know, heart rate and blood pressure and his mental state of mind, you know, went more depressive. Just seeing that. There's another one that talks about the corporate aspect of fast foods and how, you know, corn syrup is in
yeah,
everything, right? And, you know, I think it's called Food Incorporated. If that doesn't piss you off, nothing will,
yeah,
you know. So, you know, doing things like that, knowledge is power, which, you know, fast foods are everywhere. They are. It's super acceptable. Um, and I also learned, did you know that any fast food, the color red stimulates hunger? Did you know that?
no, I didn't know that.
I did not. So the
Uh,
next time you're driving and you look at, well, there's that and there's that and there's that. They all have red in the signage. It blew my mind when
yeah,
I love that kind of
yeah,
stuff. But so yeah,
yeah,
it's readily available. Even, you know, places like Whole Foods. You know, it's like it's supposed to be this great place. Well, there's still a lot of crap food in there too. You know, so I think just getting back to basics. What if I bought a Porsche? I'm not going to put cheap unleaded gas in that. I'm going to put premium because that baby's going to give me the best performance with premium. I could, you know, once in a while have a piece of cake, or once in a while, you know, do, you know, cheap gas, but is it worth it?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. But you know what to expect. It's going to run like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, question: Do you like your male fans being encouraged to try your content? We need that reassurance. Just saying.
No, usually I am a walking advertisement. I do not need to reassure anybody. In fact, they come to me saying, "Oh my God, I found you." So, but you know what? The majority of my fans that I do have, they stick around. Because again, we create these dynamics, these relationships.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if they do, you know, step off my platform for a little bit, they come back around and we catch up again, and you know, do video chats or whatever it is that you know we want to do.
All right. I don't know if I hit this question. Like, what about like your workout routine? Like what's it like being like in the gym and stuff, like working out and do like and then dealing with like the coaches and stuff, like the switching of the coaches. You had coaches, right? Like different coaches, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like
Every coach, I learned something different. Just like when you go through school and every teacher teaches you something different of the same subject. I
right,
learned that with scuba diving, you know, like get a different dive master, and I'd learned something completely different than I'd learned it, and it was successful. Um, you know, when I go to the gym for me is a place where I do not have to be feminine and I do not have to talk to people. I am there for the grind. I have my hair pulled back. I've got, you know, my workout gear on. I'm my coach. I believe as an athlete, I want to coach. I want to coach. I want to make sure my form is well. I want to make sure I'm being challenged. You know, I don't necessarily have a problem with accountability at this stage, but I'm not going to take any chances. You know, and when I go in there and you know, I work a single body part each day. So like today
right,
is legs, for instance, you know, and so I move a lot of weight. I'm going to grunt. It's not going to be pretty. You know, we have a joke saying, if you leave looking good, you didn't do it right, you know? But I've learned a lot from my coaches, and the dynamics also go beyond the training, right? We learn about another human being and another person's story or perspective of life. And so it's a win-win. I love
yeah.
having a coach. Yeah.
Well, you have another Omar Acosta, beautiful,
Thank you, Omar.
and Rolando G. Jewel. I might be a new fan. Do you live on ones with fans? I'm very interested.
Yes, I do. Those are video chats is what he's referring to. And I
Okay.
do them most definitely. So, you know, with my OnlyFans, it's, you know, FitWife Jules VIP. And then there's where you sign up for my subscription and you get all my content for $25 a month. And in there is when we talk about doing like a one-on-one or, you know, different things we'll do outside of them enjoying my videos. And that happens to be one of them. We schedule video chats and they're fun because again, they're one-on-one conversations.
You
And
got
so,
one in Spanish.
oh,
Julian Abraham Scuba. Te admiro, soy un fan. Entrono así 11 años, entrenamientos de peces a mis 29 years. I think he's saying that he admires, he been a fan for 11 years, and uh, oh, okay, he probably he's 20. I don't know. I thought I could,
you
you
did
know,
a
I
great
speak a
job
little
though. I'm
Spanish.
impressed.
Yeah, I've read it. I've read it. It's something about him. He's been a fan of. I think
Yeah,
he's trying to
words
say,
translate.
yeah, like, yeah, yeah. But he's a fan. He's a fan. That because, yeah, I try to, try to learn like, I was learning Spanish a little bit, and it's not easy sometimes, and like, it.
Well, you did a great job. I was impressed.
Thank you. Yeah,
And what does one do after 4 months of the grind? She comes to the BPI. This is such my happy spot. I love being on the water. I love that we have no restrictions, no timelines. This is really where I get to hit the reset button. First mate. So,
so with the scuba diving, like, how was that like being underwater? Like, is like, what's that's like? Um, I never scuba dive, so I don't know.
I've always wanted to see what it looked like underwater. We watched like National Geographic and you'd see all these beautiful creatures. But like I said earlier, I didn't know how to swim. So the thought of scuba diving was clearly out of the picture.
Yeah,
But then, the first time I actually put my head underwater with a regulator in my mouth was in the
yeah,
ocean in Cozumel. So go big, go home. I mean, and so the first time I did that and just actually saw everything under there, it was very overwhelming because it just seemed to go on forever. But it was so beautiful. It took me a while to get comfortable with diving because again, I'm kind of a fighter and you can't fight the ocean, as
right,
silly as that sounds. But it's usually around the 15th dive that you kind of get your just flow with what's going on. And I've done some night diving. I've dove over in the Coral Sea right off of the Great Barrier Reef. Cozumel is one of our favorites. You see, shark feedings. I've just been able to see a lot of different things underwater. I have yet to see dolphins off the side of my boat. I
yeah,
get to see that, but I'm sure that's coming. We're not done yet, but so yeah, it's gorgeous. And you can do
yeah,
something like Discover Scuba, for instance, any dive
right,
shop, and you can learn what it feels like to put your head underwater and to breathe and put your
right.
body under there. Yeah, it's
So,
amazing.
like, that about the sharks. I heard they don't really like attack you. I think it's like, I think if it, something has to happen before they try to attack you or something. Is that true? Or like they see blood or they come at you?
Well, the blood theory has been tested, and that is not truth. That is not
Right,
truth at all. Shark are typically bottom feeders, so they don't want to fight for their food. So this is why the shark attacks that we hear about is when they look up and on surface they see somebody swimming. Well, to them
mm.
it looks like they're struggling, and so that's why they take the bite. But then
Oh,
it's like, whoa, that's not what I thought it was. So there isn't shark eatings, there's shark bites. You watch the behavior of sharks when you're underwater, and they'll circle because they're curious. They're curious, and really, if you think about it, I'm underwater with a tank of air, a regulator in my mouth, and these fins, right? I am loud. I probably sound like a freight train coming through, and I'm always diving with other people. So I'm sure these sharks are like, what the hell is this? But, we've had some, we don't dive where there's aggressive sharks, Cozumel and stuff. They'll have some that are nurse sharks that don't even have, front teeth. So, but typically, we've seen sharks sleep, which is super cool. They have a covering that goes over their eye, but because the water needs to continue to go through their gills, they will swim sleeping. So, but they're just a little dormant. But so, yeah, you know what? If you don't poke the bear, the shark is not coming after you. And I have probably 150 dives under my belt, and I've dove with a lot of people, some of them not so brilliant. And I've never seen anything like that. So I've done a shark feeding where, I don't know, thousands of sharks, hundreds of sharks came around and they were eating a tuna head. They had no interest in us. So yeah, I haven't experienced anything like that.
Okay. You got all the raised George Page. So what was your last show, Jules?
It was about 3 weeks ago. I did a regional show here it's in Houston. I did it in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like when you started like working out, like bodybuilding, did you had any inspirations? Like did you watch bodybuilding before or
No. That battle was between me and myself. When I started to step on stage, Nicole Wilkins I was a huge admirer of her. And Dana Lynn Bailey was also a very strong motivator for me, because they're like underdogs. Dana's been told, like, hey, my dad says, girls don't supposed to have muscles. And she's like, well, why doesn't he have any muscles then?
Yeah.
So she, that like kind of like snarky attitude, I definitely could relate to. But no, I didn't do a lot of that. I didn't. I've watched, the bodybuilders, their documentaries, and, the Arnold show that just, recently came out. That was phenomenal. I love to hear people's stories about how they've, worked through adversities. But to, as a motivation outside, besides, one or two, no. And unfortunately, like, people will be like, hey, do you know blah, blah, or blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
but like where do you see like bodybuilding? Like as you know, it ain't really like it's not lucrative for like female bodybuilders usually. The men they get more. Like, do you see like getting it better, being better, like as a sport in general?
I don't have much experience at the pro level.
Right.
And so I don't know. I've never really, I've seen people be sponsored. I've seen them on the cover of a few magazines. But that is pretty much the extent of my exposure to that level. I don't have much in there. I don't know much.
What should do you have any plans for another show or?
Right now, we have our boat coming in. Our next boat is coming in September. And I really want to just go sail. I want to be on the water. I just, we've gone through a bumpy year with some changes in our family, and, to be landlocked after being on the water, like it's like you Jones for it. Of course I stop at the, on the, around the islands, and we know where the gyms are at, and none of that's going to change. But to get to that point of the grind of, 12 or 20 weeks of prep, and right now I have other things that I'm pursuing. And, like with the Hot Wife tour, there was one of the stops that I couldn't be a part of because I was prepping, those are my girls. This is the stuff I enjoy doing, and it's really difficult to be able to balance both of those. So at this point, I'd have to say not right now.
Okay. You don't have kids, right?
I personally don't, but my husband
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any plans to having kids or?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I'm
All right.
51 years old. I'm not having any children.
Yeah, I just asked. I just asked. Some people I know your biological, it ticks.
That never
That's
happened for me. That whole
yeah,
ticking clock thing. Maybe it's because I wasn't
yeah.
sober. Maybe thank God I didn't have children. That's all I say sometimes. I barely made it through that alive. Thank God I didn't have to pull some child through all of that.
I just asked because you're a very attractive woman, like so
Thank you.
yeah, but everybody can't have kids. So I'm 47. I don't have kids, so so I
Okay.
understand.
Did you
Yeah.
want children?
Uh, I had to get my priorities straight. The years, it never was straight. I wasn't financially there. You know,
Mhm.
mentally, I wasn't there. Also, there's certain responsibilities I had to see about. So
Yeah.
mm, it wasn't gonna happen. I probably would have been those deadbeat dads. Or I don't think I would want to try to be a deadbeat dad. But I don't know. I wouldn't kind of like want to neglect my responsibilities.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of responsibility
yeah,
in having children, and the financial aspect of it and the outside pressures. And like I said, I rarely could keep my head afloat, let alone,
yeah.
a little me. So I'm totally okay with the outcome here.
It's all good. It's all good. You got any departing words for the viewers or anything like that?
Gosh, this has just been fun. I've enjoyed just, sitting back talking about everything. I think that's one of the beauties
Thank
too,
you.
is like I'll talk about my book, I'll talk about recovery, I'll talk about bodybuilding, we'll talk about sex. I love it, right? That authenticity, the ability to be like open and vulnerable. So hey, my last words would be like, can more of us do this, please? Because we would have a lot more friendships. But yeah, just what? Like really look at what's holding you back. Really, it's fear. Fear is the thing that holds us back. And then you got to turn inward and look at that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like in the future, you're ever interested, you could come over and we'll talk again.
Okay,
You know.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely
Yeah,
stay in touch.
yeah. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very
All
welcome.
right. No problem. All right, folks. That's a wrap. I want to thank y'all for popping up. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Jules. That's it. Till next time.
Okay.
Over. Gotta. Okay. This thing won't kind of. I gotta wait. I don't know. I'm on my phone, and this thing for some reason is giving me a hard time. I don't know. I see the copy and paste. I don't know what's that about. Oh boy, this is not cool.
This is called behind the scenes. This is where it really
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for popping. Thank you.